crossing the road right.
At least 5 people killed, dozens injured as twisters tear across Texas. One at least a mile wide.
I'm just devastated.
Dealership destroyed, cars tossed like toys, homes demolished.
Just took a direct hit.
The town's picking up the pieces this morning.
This same system also bringing killer floods, the raging waters in the heartland. Homes and cars underwater, 2 children swept away. This man just barely managing to escape. The states of emergency declared with more dangerous weather on the way right now.
Marking his milestone, President Trump's campaign-style rally in Pennsylvania, thanking his supporters and skipping that big party back in Washington.
They are gathered together for the White House Correspondents' Dinner without the president.
Comedians getting in their own jabs as thousands of Trump critics protest his stance on climate change.
And festival fail. We've got new details on that luxury weekend in paradise that turned into a disaster. The event's co-founder speaking out this morning.
We took a big jump here and a big risk, and V1 has failed.
Where he's pinning the blame as celebrity promoter Bella Hadid shares her feelings on the Fire Festival fiasco.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And overnight, we did see that split screen. On one side, the president marking his 100th day in office with a raucous rally in Pennsylvania. On the other side, members of the national media dressed to the nines, partying at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, a soiree the president decided to skip this year. We've got full coverage of that coming up.
But we do want to start here with the breaking news. A powerful and deadly storm barreling through the central part of this country. At least 3 confirmed tornadoes, one of them tearing through East Texas, destroying homes, snapping trees, and flipping over cars. We've got some cell phone video here of a twister crossing the highway outside Eustis, Texas.
What a frightening scene. This storm also triggering torrential rains, already causing deadly flash flooding in places like Arkansas and Missouri. At least 2 children swept away. The rivers are rising this morning, threatening even more damage.
And there is a real threat of more severe weather this morning. Millions of Americans in the danger zone right now. We've got team coverage, and we're going to kick it all off here with Rob, who's over at the weather wall. Rob, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. A huge storm with devastating impact the last 24 hours across a large chunk of the country. We have flood watches and warnings that are ongoing right now with all the rain that's been coming down. The suburbs of Little Rock under a flash flood emergency in much of that state, including Louisiana and parts of Mississippi right now, are under a tornado watch. These are all the storm reports that came in yesterday. A lot of hail, a lot of straight line wind, and obviously those tornadoes as well. But the rainfall did some serious damage throughout the day. Widespread reports of 6 to 8 inches of rainfall, really across 5 or 6 states here. This is saturated, and there's more rain coming. And look at this explosion of storms here in the last 36 hours, especially just east of Dallas. As several things came together, and that's where we had those tornadoes drop down late in the day with, unfortunately, a deadly impact across 3 counties. At least 3 reports of large tornadoes there. And we have that threat moving off towards the east today. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Paul and Dan.
What a busy weather map, Rob. We'll check in with you in a little bit. Thank you. We are covering the destruction of at least 3 twisters in Texas, one of them landing in the town of Canton. And that's where we find our Marcy Gonzalez this morning. Hi, Marcy.
Absolutely astounding damage. You can see this SUV that was tumbled. It's mud caked and left upside down by those intense winds. So strong it ripped the bark right off these trees. Then this other vehicle you can see was picked up and thrown into that tree right there. And this is just a glimpse of the damage that was left behind.
There is a tornado crossing the road right in front of us.
Overnight, at least 5 people killed as massive tornadoes tore through Texas.
Oh my God, there was stuff in the air.
The National Weather Service confirming 3 violent twisters ripping through multiple counties east of Dallas, destroying homes.
This is ridiculous. Oh my God, I mean, that is from the pool.
Tree branches snaking through overturned cars, nearly 50 people left injured.
Today, we're in the process of search and recovery at this very moment.
Here you see the tornado tearing along I-20, smashing up to 40 cars on the interstate, gutting this Dodge car dealership, flipping over pickup trucks like toys. Aaron Stevenson pulled off the road into the Dodge parking lot just in time.
All of a sudden, I just heard things thudding against the side of the car, and then it just went over us. And I heard the ceiling fall down, I heard the roof fall through, and then the noise of the train that they always tell you about, it is actually true.
Ernestine Cook driving out to see the damage. Her son used to work here.
I'm just devastated. What could have happened to all these people that took care of us, and my son could have been in there?
The ferocious tornado causing extensive damage, knocking down trees and telephone poles, leaving nearly 40,000 customers without power. A terrifying moment, the twister hitting minutes before prom was set to begin in one school district. The dance canceled as sirens blared. The venue destroyed. The students believed to be safe. It's easy to see why this entire county has now been declared a disaster, and authorities say they expect to find more victims when the sun comes up. Dan and Paula.
Looking at a tough day in East Texas. Marcy, thank you. Besides the tornadoes hitting there in Texas, floodwaters are rising in the nation's heartland, fueled by torrential rains.
The water rising so fast, some escaping just minutes to spare, while others, including at least 2 young children, are missing this morning. And ABC's Philip Mena is in Fort Smith, Arkansas, with the very latest. Good morning, Philip.
Paula, Dan, good morning. The Arkansas River here is rising this morning after a long night of heavy downpours in this region. More than 7 inches of rain falling in parts of at least 5 states, including this one, and that's triggering some dangerous flash flooding. Overnight flooding from heavy rain sweeping across the Midwest, leaving homes and cars completely underwater. Nearly 100 evacuations and nearly 3 dozen rescues reported in southern Missouri.
People were a little panicked. Some refused to leave their homes.
This man barely making it out before his vehicle is submerged.
Stay away from moving water. That's our biggest problem, is people that don't believe that it's a threat, and so they try and cross it, and we end up having to go rescue them.
In Arkansas, the search for 2 missing children suspended. The 18-month-old girl and 4-year-old boy were trapped inside a truck that was swept away, their mother managing to escape. In Oklahoma, a state of emergency. Hail and heavy rain pounding the state. Rushing waters trapping customers inside this restaurant.
There's people in there.
The search for those 2 missing children is expected to resume later today. The threat here far from over. We're expecting more rain, and we're already seeing several rivers in other areas at major flood stage. Dan, Paula?
That story about the kids is just wrenching. Philip, thank you. We're going to be covering this severe weather throughout the day right here on ABC News and abcnews.com. But we do move on now, though, to the big political story this morning. Overnight, President Trump marking his 100 days in office with that rousing campaign-style rally in the battleground state of Pennsylvania, which helped put him over the top back in November. Trump skipping the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, where the president is normally the guest of honor, and ABC's David Wright is covering it all from Washington. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. You know, this was the first time since 1981, 36 years since the sitting president has blown off this dinner. And that was right after Ronald Reagan was shot. So he had a pretty good excuse. And even so, he managed to make a phone call from Camp David. Make no mistake, this was a snub. And it led to 2 feuding perspectives going head to head, one in Washington, one in Harrisburg, PA.
The President of the United States of America.
While the president held a campaign rally in the Rust Belt,
A large group of Hollywood actors and Washington media are consoling each other in a hotel ballroom in our nation's capital right now.
a bizarre split-screen moment.
Welcome to the series finale of the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Normally, he'd be the guest of honor at that dinner.
They are gathered together for the White House Correspondents' Dinner without the president.
But Trump staged his rally 100 miles away, snubbing the reporters who normally cover him.
And I know journalists, you guys are definitely trying to do good work. I just think that a lot of people don't trust you right now.
The reporters' trump card, Woodward and Bernstein. Journalists whose reporting brought down a president.
Mr. President, the media is not fake news.
Follow the money, but
follow also the lies.
Each side has its constituency. Tens of thousands of Trump critics took part in the People's Climate March.
I'm here because it's our future at stake. We're the generation that has a chance to do something about climate change.
The president has plenty of people who believe in him.
United we stand, divided we fall. And if America cannot come together in joint and unity, we're never going to be making America great again.
He's just getting started. You got to give the man a chance.
Now, these two feuding events showed the stark divide between the president and the press corps he loves to rail against. And it's a divide that hasn't been this deep in years. There's room for improvement on both sides. As the comedian last night, Hassan Minhaj, pointed out a very smart observation. He said, "We live in a strange time where trust seems to be more important than the truth." Dan and Paula?
That's so true. And you're right, there is room for improvement on both sides. But David, the president earlier this week said that we could end up having, quote, a major conflict against North Korea. Just last night, he commented again. Any clarity on military action? What exactly did he say?
Well, our own ABC's Catherine Faulders caught up with the president outside that event in Harrisburg and asked him point blank what his response is to the North Koreans after that missile strike, after that missile test. And he said ominously, "You'll soon find out." Dan, Paula?
David, thank you. For more on all of this, let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, John Karl, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. John, good morning. What do you make of that comment on North Korea from the president overnight? How close are we really to some sort of military confrontation here?
Well, clearly, this is a heightened level of tension with North Korea. It's not new that we have the kind of rhetoric we have heard. And by the way, President Trump has said he does not rule out military action. That's exactly what President Obama said. So this isn't an entirely new situation, but there is no question, when you talk to national security officials at the White House, that their level of concern about North Korea, primarily because of the progress that they have made with their nuclear and missile programs, that the level of concern is certainly higher than it has been in a very long time.
Yeah, 3 missile tests this month alone, John. So let's talk about the split screen overnight. You see the president at that rally in Pennsylvania while bashing the national media. They were at an elite party back in Washington. Do you think this was a good night for the president?
Well, you know, I don't know that it's a night that really matters all that much in terms of the in the scheme of things in the first 100 days for the president. I think there was a little buyer's remorse. The president actually told Reuters and Jeff Mason, who will be on the roundtable and who is the president of the White House Correspondents Association, he told him on Thursday that he will come to the dinner next year. So I think there was a little bit of regret in the White House about not showing up. I don't think it's going to hurt him or necessarily help him all that much. And by the way, Paula, I mean, you weren't here. It would have been perhaps a little different, but I didn't actually see any Hollywood celebrities at the dinner last night.
You're a celebrity yourself, JK. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, look in the mirror, John Karl. You'll see a celeb looking right back at you.
One other headline this morning, not to bring the room down here, but one other headline this morning. President Trump has invited the president of the Philippines, a man named Rodrigo Duterte, to the White House. This is a guy who's been accused of massive human rights violations, and he once called President Obama, and I'm quoting here, a son of a whore. And this invitation comes after warm words or actions from President Trump for authoritarian leaders in places like Russia, China, Turkey, and Egypt. So, John, if you take this all together, what do you think the strategy is here?
Well, certainly what the strategy isn't is promoting human rights and democracy around the world. So the foreign policy that was set in place for Republicans, beginning with Ronald Reagan and the effort to roll back communism, George W. Bush and the effort to promote democracy around the world, that branch of Republican foreign policy thinking is nowhere to be found in the Trump, and if there's a Trump doctrine. This is about promoting America's interests and the human rights records of those that we are dealing with in the president's mind is not only not the first priority, it is not the second priority, not the third priority. It really isn't a priority at all.
Okay, let's talk about priorities real quick. 100 days in, as we pointed out yesterday, he's 6.8% into his presidency. What do you expect to be the big priority the next 100 days?
Well, I think that the big domestic priority is actually going to be on taxes. Now, the president unveiled his tax plan, but as you both know, it wasn't really a tax plan. It was one single page of principles. But I think this is something that they are determined to get something done, some form of a tax cut, some form of tax reform. It'll probably be a lot less ambitious than that one-page principle suggested, but this will be the priority going for the next year. And of course, he's got to keep the government running, and he's got to find a way to go back and get his health care plan through. I think the odds are very long on that getting done successfully, but they will certainly make a big push to do it.
John, we always love having you on the show. Can you come back soon?
Hey, of course. I love being here with you guys.
I know you got your big events, your Hollywood events, you know, the White House Correspondents' Dinner and all that, but
Hey,
thanks for making time for us.
If the president, will you come next year, Paula, please?
I will. I promise I will.
Okay.
And only if we can sit at a table with you, John. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John. We're going to let you go because we know you have a big show this morning. John's going to be going one-on-one with White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi on what's next after the president's first 100 days. Plus, Ann Coulter and Robert Reich, the former Labor Secretary, are going to discuss the latest free speech firestorm at Berkeley University. That's all coming up on This Week with John Carl right here on ABC.
A lot of weather news this morning, as we've established. So let's get it back to Rob to look at the national forecast on this last day of April.
Hey, good morning again, guys. It's just hard to believe that this is really one large system, and it has morphed in the last 36 hours into nothing less than a monster, wide-reaching, getting all the way up into Canada, the Gulf of Mexico. We've got that strong line of thunderstorms that's moving across Louisiana in that tornado watch. We've got all these flood warnings because of all the rainfall, and that white you saw was snow. We've got blizzard warnings that are happening across parts of the high plains there. More on that in a second. But really the main impact here is the flooding that we saw yesterday, and we'll see more today because that ground obviously saturated. The rivers will continue to rise, not just today. The larger ones are going to rise all the way through this week. Severe weather, we come into the south today, this morning, a bit of a break up north, and then later on in the day, we'll probably get some sun beaming in there, and that will create another round of thunderstorms. So I think 2 throughout the day today. And this is a huge risk for severe weather, likely some strong winds, large hail, and maybe a tornado or 2. And as we saw yesterday, all you need are 1 or 2 tornadoes to devastating effect. And then tomorrow, thankfully, the risk shrinks just a little bit, but it'll still be around. That's a quick check on the weather headlines nationally. Here now, your local forecast.
Expecting mostly cloudy skies for much of today. In addition, some of us falling cooler, little boundaries setting up. And if you're north of that, Frederick, Hagerstown, and Annapolis expecting temperatures back in the 70s. Meanwhile, south of that boundary, it's another hot and steamy afternoon in Fredericksburg. So definitely another warm day. If you're heading out to the Nationals game, mostly cloudy skies, but it does look dry, and those temperatures stay in the 80s as you head home from the game as well.
Tomorrow, May 1st, May Day, is that what we call? We will celebrate spring and talking about snow.
Is there a maypole you dance around to
Yes,
celebrate
there is.
May?
Yeah, with ribbons.
A little
and all
history for you this morning.
I like that.
Very official.
I mean, next year, at some point that'll fall on a weekend. We'll have that here. On
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
There's Ron.
That I'd love to see.
How about a little history, some current events? There's a developing urgent situation in Maryland.
That's right, in Maryland. Good morning. We're going to begin there where this morning police are changing tactics in the search for an escaped prisoner. Attempted police killer David Watson has been on the loose since slipping away from police Friday morning while being driven to a mental facility for evaluation after a massive manhunt on foot and in the air. Police are now suspending the ground search, saying they have no evidence that the 28-year-old fugitive is still in the area where he escaped. And in Boston, our ABC affiliate there, WCVB, reporting that an autopsy on former New England Patriots star Aaron Hernandez shows there was no trace of any illegal drugs in his system at the time of his death. The state medical examiner has ruled that Hernandez's death was a suicide. His body was found in his prison cell almost 2 weeks ago. Hernandez was serving a life sentence for a conviction for murder. And in Los Angeles, police are searching for 2 suspects. They say carjacked a woman, stealing her SUV Saturday afternoon, and then going on a shooting spree through 3 different communities in L.A. County, killing 1 person and wounding at least 3 others. The suspects are believed to be a man and a woman. Also in Los Angeles, candlelight vigils marking the 25th anniversary of the riots that rocked that city in 1992. The violence in response to the acquittal of 4 white police officers, LAPD police officers, in the beating of Rodney King, included the brutal attack of a white truck driver. 54 people were killed and more than 1,000 buildings were destroyed or damaged. In Connecticut, two former headmasters of a prestigious boarding school are under investigation for sexual misconduct by teachers. They have resigned their posts as life trustees at that school. The headmasters worked at Choate Rosemary Hall from the early 1970s to 2011. That's when investigators say most of that abuse took place. The school lists John F. Kennedy, Michael Douglas, and Ivanka Trump among its alumni. In Ohio, the